This morning, we are following some new developments in the Waukesha Parade tragedy case. The two crucial decisions that could be made today as the victims wait for justice.
A referendum on the books for one area city, when and where it's happening, and why city leaders say it's desperately needed.
And September is ending off on a chilly note, but what will October bring? More warmth or dry? I'll break it down here soon.
Talking wind chills here in Wisconsin as Florida is about to get slammed with potentially a Category 5 hurricane.
Yeah, we're looking at wind speeds just 2 miles an hour short of Category 5 wind speeds at this point. Still a Category 4. That's a new designation this morning. We have comprehensive coverage on Hurricane Ian coming up throughout the next hour. We want to start, though, with an alert day in Wisconsin because of the frost you're waking up to this morning and wind chills in September. Greg Barnhart has it all in your First Warn Weather. I can't believe we're talking about wind chills, Greg.
Well, it's not too bad. It's not like winter wind chills here. But, you know, if you're not seeing the frost or 32, you're probably seeing 32 or even 30 we got a light breeze going on right now. It's about 5 miles per hour, actually stronger as you go further east. But overall, temperatures right now are still holding off. So that's alert day going on for frost. That's for this morning and tonight, mainly Dane County and west. Visibility also, we've got starting to see some of that creep up here for some fog to the west, Bosqueville up to Camp Douglas, so that could be some of a concern out there. Overall temperatures have continued to fall. We're back to 38 in Madison right now. So as you see, temperatures have fallen into the mid-20s up further north. Clear skies, pretty much a few clouds. Winds will be lighter today. We'll get up to 56, much more sun. But the thing is, our temperatures won't climb as much either. So one more night of frost or freeze up to the north. Then we should have temperatures moderate some towards the end of the week here. So we'll be back to where we should be. And the good portion is it's going to be dry through the weekend and looks like into early next week potentially. And I'll break down how warm we'll get and when maybe the next chance we see of rainfall a bit later in the broadcast.
All right, Greg Barnhart reporting live for us this morning. Thanks, Greg. Wisconsin Assembly Speaker Robin Voss continues to fight a subpoena to testify before the January 6th committee.
Shane Hogan is here with what the committee wants to know and how Voss is now responding. New information this morning, Shane.
Yeah, that's right, Leah. Robin Voss filed a lawsuit after receiving the subpoena seeking his testimony. The committee wants to learn more about a call Voss received from former President Donald Trump earlier this summer about efforts to decertify the 2020 election here in Wisconsin. Court documents show Voss agreed to withdraw a request for a temporary restraining order keeping him from testifying, and the committee agreed to not enforce the subpoena while this case is pending. In a statement to News 3 Now, Voss says he was surprised to receive the subpoena from the House committee. He says, quote, "I have no information to provide about the events surrounding January 6th, end quote. Voss made a number of arguments in his suit, saying the subpoena lacks a lawful purpose and was issued from an unlawful committee. Voss has until next Tuesday to file a preliminary injunction to the case. If he does do that, the committee will then have a week to respond. And important to note, the January 6th committee was scheduled to have a hearing today, but they are postponing due to the hurricane down in Florida. So some developments this morning centered around one of Wisconsin's top elected officials.
Shane Hogan with that new information. We appreciate it, Shane. Thank you. To our other top stories, the Waukesha Christmas parade suspect has until this morning to decide whether he still wants to represent himself in court.
A lot at stake here. The judge also has a crucial decision to make on whether to delay the trial, which is scheduled to begin on Monday. Darrell Brooks faces 77 charges, including 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Yesterday, the judge gave Brooks until this morning to decide if he'll represent himself after his lawyers withdrew from the case. In court, Brooks told the judge that he doesn't understand the charges against him or how the state can prosecute him. If Brooks does decide to represent himself, the judge could then delay the trial, which prosecutors absolutely do not want. We, of course, will be following these important decisions today on channel3000.com and our mobile app. Here in Dane County, another referendum on the ballot for this November. This one's in Middleton.
The goal is to help address a citywide staffing shortage from police to city workers. The referendum looking to boost staff with a 4% increase in wages. It's the first time the city's posted a referendum like this in their entire history. As the population grows, both police and other city workers are starting to feel the pinch.
There are a number of calls for service that we are looking to cut in 2023 if we can't add staff.
We've lost 29 positions in this year alone. 17 full-time staff have left.
The referendum is scheduled for November. It's going to add 2 more police officers, a city communications specialist and a parks crew member. They're going to pay for this by raising the yearly tax levy by $770,000. What's that mean for you as a taxpayer? Well, you would start seeing your property taxes go up by $20 per every $100,000 in property value. If you live in Middleton, that would start in December should this referendum pass. Also in Middleton, a ribbon cutting for a brand new school for the district. You can check it out for yourself. It's a new early learning center, the Cardinal Academy campus, and it's opening along Clark Street in Middleton. There's an open house today. It starts at 4:30, runs until 6 tonight, if you'd like to take a look.
On the campaign trail this morning, Governor Tony Evers making a stop at a local coffee shop last night just off the UW campus on State Street. There he met with UW students and grassroots supporters. He talked about what's at stake in the upcoming election, including women's rights, marijuana legalization, and the ability to appoint UW regents.
If we don't win this race, it'll change the face of the University of Wisconsin system, all the campuses that we're talking about. It certainly will be an issue around reproductive rights. You will not see anybody working towards the legalization of marijuana. But most importantly, your lives as students going to a top-class, world-class university will change.
Now to continuing coverage of the 2020 election. All records from the closed Republican-ordered investigation into the presidential election in the state are being uploaded to a website. The investigation was led by former Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Michael Gableman, who was eventually fired. Gableman's probe did not uncover any widespread fraud in the election.
New this morning, the owner of a Linden Station bar accused of blowing it up now has a $350,000 cash bond in the case. 43-year-old Heath Fjorden of Baraboo is facing 5 felony charges for the September 1st explosion and fire at Beagle's Bar. According to investigators, multiple gas cans and gas-soaked rags were found in the bar's basement. So was a wig that firefighters believe Fjorden might have used to hide his identity. Right now, he is receiving medical care for burn injuries, which he says were from a grilling accident. Court records say he's set to make his initial appearance at the end of October.
We're learning new details and seeing some new video following a crash involving NFL star Myles Garrett at a defensive end for the Cleveland Browns. According to NFL insider Tom Pelissero, Garrett swerved to avoid an animal on Monday, overcorrected, then crashed his Porsche. Garrett was released from the hospital that night. His injuries are non-life-threatening. According to the Ohio State Highway Patrol, a passenger in the car was also hurt. They survived as well. Investigators said drug or alcohol use are not believed to be factors.
All right, we want you to take a look at this incredible video this morning. This is out of Arizona. You can see a car stuck in the middle of massive flooding in that state. On top, if you can see here, 6 people, several kids among them. This happened last week in Maricopa County. A rescue chopper lowered 2 troopers down to help rescue these folks, picking up the baby first, then the other kids, and then finally the mom and dad here. Miraculously, everyone is safe. Nobody was injured. Again, incredible video out of Arizona this morning.
Well done. Hats off to our first responders. That's incredible.
Certainly.
6:07 now. Coming up, the Green Bay Packers who surprised patients at a Wisconsin Children's Hospital.
And a group of students helping to keep crowds safe ahead of the Oktoberfest weekend in La Crosse. Their new efforts to give a hand to police.
Your energy, inspiring a spark of working hard to reach your goals, thinking outside the box to bring your vision to life. At Alliant Energy, we're creating more clean, renewable energy every single day to power what matters to you. Because even during the most powerful moments in our lives, we're not thinking about power, we're thinking about a brighter future. Alliant Energy, powering beyond.
Get up and go! You heard the Jingle Man, Wisconsin. That means it's time to get a versatile, rugged, athletic SUV that makes you feel like you just won a title. Again. Honda was just crowned KBB.com's best value brand for the 7th year in a row. So get up and go to your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin. Bring it home, Songbird.
Get up and go.
Ron Johnson's at it again, lying about my taxes. Let's be clear, my taxes are paid in full, but there were times I was getting by on peanut butter sandwiches. And that's why I support a tax cut for the middle class. Put more money in your pockets, because I know how hard you work. But Johnson used his Senate seat to write a loophole that gave huge tax cuts to himself and his biggest donors, leaving us with crumbs. And that's how we get left behind. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
So I just started this new trapeze class, and...
Whoa, the new iPhone is here.
I know, right? The ultimate iPhone. US Cellular paid for mine, and I was already a customer.
The new iPhone is here.
Right, and you'd be smart to get it at US Cellular. They have price protection, so you know your rate won't go up.
Now, new and current customers can get any new iPhone 14 Pro or iPhone 14 Pro Max on us.
Okay, I'll just wait here and watch your donut.
At US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
News 3 Now this morning.
Exciting things happening in the 608. As always, some local folks are raising awareness for dyslexia.
Josh Sprider's here now to tell us how they're doing it. Hey, Josh.
Hey, guys. Good morning to the both of you. So a great awareness for a great cause here, and dyslexia is a big, big problem. It's a language-based learning disability, which results in people having difficulties with specific language skills, particularly when it comes to reading. Well, that's what has the International Dyslexia Association working to raise awareness this morning. Their goal is to create a future for all individuals who struggle with dyslexia and other related reading differences so that they may have a richer, more robust life and also those access to tools and resources they need. I caught up with Priscilla Gressens, the president of the IDA Wisconsin branch.
Techniques for teaching children with dyslexia help all kids, not just the struggling readers. And so we are trying to bring awareness of that there is a problem in the state of Wisconsin with dyslexia and struggling reading. It got worse through COVID, but the fact is that there is help. It's called structured literacy. But as I see it, you cannot bring a solution to the table until you bring awareness of the problems.
So here's where you come in this weekend. IDA of Wisconsin is hosting a dyslexia awareness party. It's happening Saturday, October 1st from 1 to 4 in the afternoon at Oakstone and Cottage Grove. I'm told there is free admission, a silent auction, and music by Jackie Marie, along with some kids' activities, appetizers, and desserts. To learn more about the Dyslexia Awareness Party, including how you can help in other ways, you can go to the story on channel3000.com. Coming up in our next half hour, more on the personal connection Priscilla and others have with the dyslexia awareness, guys. I mean, the numbers are pretty staggering. You know, I told you earlier, 1 in 5 kids have some sort of dyslexia. So if you have a classroom of 30 people, that's 6 students. I mean, that's a big number.
I love what she said there. You can't bring the solution forward until everyone knows about the problem.
I think that's a problem we see with a lot of different things that are out in the world right now with, you know, people that say, we want change. Well, you have to talk about it. You have to bring awareness to it before you can come up with those solutions. And I'm excited for you to learn a little bit more about her personal connection because it's already working with her brother. So, I mean, that's huge. Like, with what they're doing, if you give them the right resources, it makes a big difference. So.
Thanks for starting this conversation, Josh.
Yeah,
really important.
Hey, don't forget to let Josh know what inspires you in the 608. Reach out on social media for a chance to be featured.
6:13 now. Illinois head coach Brett Bielema set to make his first return to Madison since leaving the program a decade ago. The Badgers, of course, taking on the Fighting Illini this Saturday at home. That face. Bielema served as head coach from 2006 to 2012. He constantly has a stink face.
That face.
It's hard to forget the success he had during his reign. We have to give him that. Under his belt, 3 straight Big Ten championships with 6 straight bowl game appearances, including 3 consecutive Rose Bowls. Since leaving, he coached at Arkansas as well as some assistant work in the NFL before landing with Illinois last season.
Proud of what those teams were able to accomplish. And, as far as working, I enjoyed working with them. And so, you look back and you're appreciative of it. What he's done there in a year and a half, it's 2 years. It's impressive. It's a good football team.
Can't forget, though, Bielema leaving right before the Rose Bowl, leaving Barry Alvarez to step up and coach for those young men. That's back in 2012, I believe. Is that right, producer Devin? Yes. So since leaving Wisconsin, Brett Bielema has a head coach record of 37 wins and 42 losses. Losing record there. The Badgers in Illinois kick off early Saturday at 11. I'm not bitter or anything.
That face.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going to stop.
Right.
Badger fan through and through. I can't help it.
To the Packers now, a big question mark coming into the season was, who would be Aaron Rodgers' go-to wide receiver? Well, number 12 has been sharing the wealth throughout the first 3 games of the season. Sunday, it was rookie Romeo Doubs. He hauled in the Pack's first touchdown and ended the day with 8 receptions for 70 yards. Rodgers loving every minute of it.
Well, funny enough, I went to him before the game and I said, great day to catch your first touchdown today, I think. And he kind of smiled, and sure enough. There's a lot of things I love about Romeo, but it's just his approach. He's very steady. He asks a lot of good questions. He's sharp when you quiz him in a meeting, cares about it. And the best thing is he catches the ball with his hands.
Well, that certainly helps. And check this out, Doubs yesterday and some of his rookie teammates visited the Children's Wisconsin Hospital in Milwaukee. It's part of the Packers versus Cancer Initiative. Doubs is joined by linebacker Quay Walker, defensive lineman Devontae Wyatt, and offensive lineman Zach Tom. They spent some time playing with the kiddos, and the Packers are going to recognize some cancer survivors and those fighting the disease at Sunday's game against the Patriots. You can watch that game right here on News 3 on WISC-TV. That's a 3:25 kickoff.
Love that these athletes are doing just as much off the field as they are on.
Always love to see it. Always love to see it.
Okay, time now to take a look at the latest numbers from our Coats for Kids campaign. We're trying to do some good in our own community here. The new total, 2,263. If you or a family member has an outgrown winter coat just sitting in your closet, you should drop it off at any area Clinky Cleaners. You have until October 8th to do so. You can also donate mittens, hats, snow pants, any outdoor winter gear that is too small for you. We're specifically looking for kids stuff here, but we'll take almost anything you got. If you don't have anything to donate and you would still like to impact your community, head to channel3000.com/coats4kids. Find an Amazon wish list with a link to a bunch of coats that you can purchase for some lucky kid this season.
We certainly need your help. All right, let's get to Greg Barnhart now. In your first warn weather, your certified most accurate. Greg, you're going to need the coat today. Looks chilly out there.
You're going to need it this morning, especially, yeah. We got a chilly night going on, a chilly morning going on right now. Really, we've been stuck in this northwest pattern here. You see northwest flow even at the surface and the loft. The system that gave us our precipitation actually to the east. Out west, they've been seeing this ridge. You can see the wind come up all the way down and then dive southward. So they're getting warmer conditions out there. We'll see some of that eventually, but it's going to take a few days to get there here. So overall, as we look at futurecasts right now, just today we're going to see lighter winds, a few clouds out there, high clouds approaching, but overall, it's going to be a nice sunshine day. It's just the temperatures aren't going to budge too much, what we saw from yesterday. Then Thursday, similar type of conditions, but notice the wind flow starts turning around from the south. Just a few high clouds come in, but really no issues to speak of as we go through Thursday. Into Friday, still looks good, even warmer conditions, and this goes on through the weekend too. So overall, it does look nice. Temperatures today, we should warm back up into the mid-50s. Like I said, less cloud cover, lighter winds, but temperatures won't budge too much. It'll be more tomorrow. Tonight, once again, light winds will allow the temperatures to fall back down, clear skies. So we're looking at another night of 30 degrees. So there is another potential for frost. If you didn't see it this morning, you might see it tomorrow morning too. And then tomorrow we'll start seeing warmer conditions because the wind flow is starting to kick back up from the south. So then we'll start seeing temperatures get back into the low to mid 60s for most of the places, and then even warmer as we go to Friday, too, we'll be more into the mid to upper 60s, too. So that's the good news right there. Basically, 4 to 10, we are above average. We're going to see a little bit of that, so that's the good news. Our temperatures are going to climb up, maybe getting a little bit above average, but not too much. But that is good news. So look at the 10-day. We are going to stay dry. The pattern is a dry one so far through the weekend, so we could push upper 60s Saturday or Sunday, depending on the day, and then we will cool back down. But a dry weekend. I know everyone wants to look at that as a plus.
That looks really nice. Not going to lie, it looks great. Thanks, Greg. 6:19 now. Hey, tomorrow, Lacrosse's Oktoberfest kicks off. Thousands of people are looking forward to this one, of course.
With high traffic and big crowds, Oktoberfest is an extra busy time for law enforcement. La Crosse police are all hands on deck this weekend. In La Crosse, there's also a mostly student-run program called River Watch that's helping out. With a heavy amount of drinking over the weekend and a history of students drowning along the Mississippi River, those volunteers pace Riverside Park from 11 at night until 3 in the morning. Get this, they don't just do it on Oktoberfest either, but on most weekends.
We ask that the community is working together, kind of like a neighborhood watch.
Now, police say with big events like this, it's important to look out for yourself and others. It's a big weekend. Have fun. Have the greatest time.
But be safe.
But be safe. Sad I won't be there.
Wouldn't be the same 7 months pregnant, would it?
Not quite, but I did offer this in our last hour. If anybody needs a DD, I'm here to help you out.
There you go. You can make a nice little side hustle out of that, going to Oktoberfest and offering up those services.
Watch the fun. I'd be fine with that.
Hey, before we had to break off, first warn traffic note. There is a crash right now along Highway 26 at County Y outside of Johnson Creek.
Yeah, sounds pretty serious. Both lanes are closed right now. That entire stretch shut down. If it's along your morning commute, give yourself some extra time this morning. And still ahead in our next half hour, let's take a live look now at Naples, Florida. Our coverage of Hurricane Ian continues. We're talking to Wisconsin volunteers today and the companies stepping up to help out in relief efforts. Take a look at those waves coming in again off the coast of Florida in the city of Naples. News 3 Now this morning. We'll be right back.
This portion of News 3 Now is sponsored by Shopco Optical.
Cobuson Buses, now hiring.
My name is Mike Williams. I've been driving school bus off and on for 21 years. Here at our terminal, we're kind of like a family too. Somebody has an issue with a bus, other people kick in and help and get the job done.
Women are being watched, tracked through their cell phones. Tim Michaels Families Foundation funds a radical anti-abortion group that tracks the cell phone data of women who visit Planned Parenthood clinics, then tries to stop them. Michaels wants to ban abortion even when a mother's health is at risk, and he's using his wealth to track and harass women. If he's doing this now, what do you think he'd do as governor?
Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Looking for one of our most capable Ford SUVs? Okay, great. We've got you covered. Spacious interiors, innovative tech, good looks, and a legendary off-road experience. Check out our inventory today, or let us help you place a custom order. Getting into the perfect Ford SUV? Well, it's easier than ever. Yeah, we've got you covered. Now choose FlexBuy on a 2022 Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer and get 0% financing for 66 months.
Wells Fargo lets you know where you stand with your credit score. What if you knew where you stood with everything, like your future in-laws?
Hope you like cats.
I hope your parents like me. They're whispering.
The kitties like her.
Can they tell I'm allergic?
Tears of joy. Welcome to the family.
Like knowing where you stand? When it comes to your credit score, you can with Wells Fargo.
It's nice to unwind after a long week of telling people how Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. It's a natural. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Keep bragging about your buck after the hunt with wild game processing from Johnson's Sausage Shop in Ryle, Wisconsin. Friends enjoy a hunting story more over a jalapeno cheddar stick. Johnson's Sausage Shop accepts wild game 7 days a week. First bucks in are the first brats out.
The radical left hate America and riot in our streets. They indoctrinate our children to hate America, stoking fear and envy with their lies and deceptions. Their radical woke agenda and divisive politics are tearing our country apart. Here's Mandela Barnes.
The founder of this nation, awful.
Mandela Barnes is a radical leftist. He supports their woke agenda that's causing you and your family so much pain.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Cobison Buses, now hiring.
Working with Cobison, it's definitely been great because of the flexibility. If you do need time off, they work around you. They definitely try to make it a company that's based for you.
Visit Cobison.com to apply.
6:24 now. A new study shows what couples fight the most about around the house.
What do you think it is? Money?
I still say money.
Yeah, I think, so the question is, what do you fight the most about? Not one of the biggest arguments, but what do you fight most about? Yeah, the biggest one's probably money, but what do you fight most often about? The answer may surprise you. One poll surveyed 2,000 British adults and asked for their top 30 reasons that they argue. Number 3 is putting away the dishes. You guys fight about this at your house?
Oh, yeah, I'm I'm messy.
You? No.
I don't put away too many dishes in my household.
Number 2 was leaving the toilet seat up. Greg, you ever been guilty of this?
Yes.
Good one.
I think every guy has.
What man out there hasn't? Number 1, so what they fight the most about? Forgetting to turn off the lights. This is a very frequent one at my house.
Is it? Who gets in most trouble?
I do. Oh,
really?
For sure. Absolutely. My wife grew up in a very strict household where her dad would get on you for leaving the lights on because he was one of those, I'm paying the electricity, I'm paying the bills, you turn it off, blah, blah, blah. And a great guy. I love him to death. But I leave my closet light on.
Okay.
And I just forget. I turn the light on, I shut the door, and so you can see like the little sliver of light underneath the closet name. He always gets on me for that.
How about the kiddos? Do they do it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that's, that one made sense to me. But yeah, the biggest arguments, that's got to be over money, right?
It has to be.
Probably.
At least a divorce has to be over money, probably.
Yeah,
there you go.
Very often. All right, hey, coming up, we're going to have that bus staff forecast and keep tracking Hurricane Ian.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It's Wow Wednesdays at Hy-Vee. This Wednesday, Hormel Black Label Bacon, only $2.99. And Hy-Vee Chunk Light Tuna, only 39 cents. Wednesday only. And visit HyVeeDeals.com for even more deals.
Raising healthy children takes a village, and kids thrive when their village is healthy too.
SSM Health and News 3 Now are helping you unlock a healthier world with our Time for Kids Keys to Health campaign. We'll show you how sustainable choices create healthier lifestyles. Explore the impacts of food security on families.
And share ways we can help build a healthy community together. So join us on air, online, and in your village.
And take time for kids.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
Oh, great. My wireless bill just went up.
Should have gone with US Cellular. They aren't raising prices on any of their plans.
Seriously?
Yeah, my price won't increase.
Well, that is refreshing. I feel like everywhere you turn these days, prices are going up.
Supply chain got us too. Don't get me started on the overhead costs.
At US Cellular, every plan for everyone is price protected.
You know, I respect a female entrepreneur.
US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
Family-owned Brothers Maine knows choosing appliances for a remodel or new build can be exciting.
and overwhelming. Our experienced staff has experienced it all as we've guided thousands of area families through appliance selection. Brothers Maine has a larger inventory and low-price deals that consistently beat competitors, including Big Box. You heard me. Big Box can't beat our prices. From sales to install, Brothers Maine does it all. Feel great about your purchases and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
Hypnotize your way to savings.
Breathing techniques to help you save.
Looking to make saving a habit?
Yeah, what's the secret?
No secret. Just open a savings account at BMO and we'll give you a cash reward for every month you save.
A cash reward?
Just for saving?
Mm-hmm. And when you open a checking account, we'll give you a $300 bonus to get your new savings habit started.
Love that.
What's your book?
How to get a $300 bonus and a monthly cash reward for saving with BMO.
He literally wrote the book on saving.
That's me on the cover.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect.
It's Wow Wednesdays at Hy-Vee. This Wednesday, extra laundry detergent, only 99 cents. And select Post cereal, only 99 cents. While supplies last. Wednesday only. And visit HyVeeDeals.com for even more deals.
It is a busy Wednesday morning, folks. We have a warning about a potentially lethal look-alike, what the colorful pills are laced with, and the importance of talking about it with your kids.
And a live look at the Florida coast. Hurricane Ian is 2 miles an hour short of Category 5 wind speeds this morning. The Wisconsin volunteers and companies headed south to help.
And it's a frosty morning out there for many as temperatures have dipped into the 30s, even 20s. I'll let you know if we'll have another night of frost and when those temperatures will return back to normal.
That news on Ian just into the newsroom this morning as we keep an eye on the hurricane just churning right now off the Florida coast. Complete coverage of the storm is straight ahead, but we got to start with an alert day in the forecast because of that frost advisory.
Yes, we have the cold temps. You know, they're dealing with the hurricane, but we got the cold temps right now. So we do have a frost advisory out until about 8 a.m. For most locations west of Dane County, and then if you go further north, they got a freeze warning up in Black River Falls and Camp Douglas area right now. So these are till 8 a.m. So that's why we got the alert day, and actually they'll probably be, they'll reissue some of this later tonight. So to give you an idea, that's why we have an alert day for tomorrow too. Overall temperatures have decreased a little bit from yesterday. We're looking at about a 5-degree drop too. Winds have kept up too, so that's why there is a little bit of a wind chill if you're not feeling that right now. So look at 38 degrees right now in Madison. Overall, we're in the 30s for all of Dane County right now. Bus stop, it's going to be chilly, so bundle up out there as you go to get on the bus. Coming back, it's going to be nice and sunshine, but still temperatures only in the upper 50s, so it'll feel a little better than yesterday. And if you look at the planning out, we should get 50 degrees by noon. Much more sunshine out there. Things to know, like I said. It's going to be a dry period and back to normal temps, and I'll have more on this in a bit later in the broadcast.
Sounds good, Greg. Thank you very much. All right, back to our coverage of Hurricane Ian this morning. It is almost a Category 5 as it is creeping closer and closer to reaching the Florida coast.
2.5 million people are under evacuation this morning. You're taking a live look at Key West, that iconic landmark of the southernmost point of the states. We've watched it just get pummeled by wind and waves this morning as the sun comes up on the Florida coast. That area dealing with severe flooding at this hour, where a local family is also stranded. Rod Richardson has been in the Florida Keys with his mom, his kids, and his grandkids this week. The storm, though, has canceled flights and cut power as it grows closer.
I guess it's similar to in Madison. You know, we experienced severe snowfalls and severe cold. Here, it's another type of severe weather that we all have to deal with.
His son won the vacation during his time on the Price is Right game show. We're hoping they had a good time leading up to this storm at the very least. Some good news here. Roderick's scheduled flight should be leaving tomorrow now.
Several people and companies from Wisconsin also pitching in to help with storm preps and upcoming relief efforts. Generac, an energy technology company specializing in backup power solutions, is headed down to Florida. The company is taking a team of volunteers and generator repair parts to help in any way possible. Many emergency workers already in Florida this morning. Here's a behind-the-scenes look at the preparations by the National Guard. In this video, we see soldiers loading up heavy machinery and training with debris clearing equipment.
Members of Madison's Red Cross also pitching in to help.
Yeah, they're making the drive down south ahead of its impact. Shane Hogan is here with how they plan to pitch in. Shane?
Yeah, Chris, happening today, 2 local Red Cross volunteers, Robert Millish and Philip Meyer, are driving an emergency response vehicle, or an ERV, down to Florida to bring some relief from the hurricane. They'll be providing food, water, and emergency supplies to families impacted by the storm. Millish and Meyer are trained ERV drivers and have been working with the Red Cross for years. They'll be joining other Wisconsinites headed across the country and beyond to help with these natural disasters. Another volunteer and a Red Cross employee are already in Puerto Rico to help with the fallout after Hurricane Fiona. Many still don't have power there. And another Wisconsin volunteer is going to Alaska following a typhoon. And make sure to keep it here on News 3 Now all day long. Coming up later today, we'll talk with those 2 volunteers as they head down to Florida later today.
All right, Shane Hogan reporting for us. Thank you, Shane. It's
6:34 now. We have a first warn traffic note for downtown Madison drivers this morning. There will be a number of traffic pattern changes happening near Blair Street and East Washington Avenue. These start today because of construction along that corridor. Drivers heading north on South Franklin Street and South Blair Street toward East Wash is right off the Capitol. Will only be able to make a right turn onto East Wash. Traffic also down to 2 lanes on East Wash between Blount and Hancock. We have all this information posted up on channel3000.com.
Now, a warning about colorful pills that look like candy that are laced with fentanyl. The head of the DEA says that it's the newest way that drug dealers are trying to hook kids and young adults. Authorities have seized the colorful pills in several other states, including Minnesota, as yet to be found in Wisconsin, but state health officials worry it'll happen soon. They say talking with kids about the extreme dangers is the best way to keep it out of their hands.
Through prevention, way upstream of an addiction, it does start young. We know that. You know, this has to be a conversation about the risk, age-appropriate risk and age-appropriate education on addiction and the danger of these drugs.
The DEA says that fentanyl remains the deadliest drug threat facing our country. In 2021, more than 107,000 Americans died of drug overdoses.
Senate Middle School students have 2 new interim co-principals following the departure of Dr. Jeffrey Copeland. He was hired shortly before the start of the school year and then suddenly placed on a leave of absence last week. The district says they're not going to comment any further because this is a personal matter. 2 former district employees will be coming out of retirement to close out the year for kids.
A second annual blood drive happening today in memory of a man who single-handedly donated 108 gallons of blood over his lifetime. 42-year-old Brad Mortar has Lodi residents inspired to donate. Last year, the town's first blood drive raised 108 gallons, and this year they hope to do the same. That drive starts this morning at 11:30. It runs until 6. It's set up at the Lodi area EMS.
The Von Maur department store at West Town Mall set to open next month. Doors will open at 10 a.m. sharp on October 15th. The first lucky customers to show up will receive roses and chocolates. Little gift from Von Maur to you. The store was announced back in 2019 to replace the former Boston store that shut down there. It's the second Von Maur store in Wisconsin, joining the Brookfield location.
The time right now is 6:36. As we take a look outside this morning, we're going to have any updates on the morning commute, and it is really feeling like fall out there this morning. We'll also keep tracking the potential for frost in the viewing area.
And money to help preserve a national scenic riverway right in our own backyard. The fall drive you have to make to see it this season.
Plus, a group of folks in the 608 raising some awareness for dyslexia. We'll tell you how they're working to make a positive impact.
The Volkswagen Taos, German engineering everyone can get into. Visit your Volkswagen dealer today to learn more about the 2022 Taos, starting at $23,495. Limited inventory available.
I'm Bob Adcock with Circle A Land and Livestock, and this is my John Deere. We've been with Sloan Implement since my father started farming, my grandfather started farming. They are a family business that's been around for generations, and that's very important to us. The personnel, the customer service that they provide, it's maybe not, you could say Sloan's first, but they put customers first. And that's why I think Sloan's first.
If you overdraw your account, Wells Fargo gives you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with a grace period? Like accidentally parking where you shouldn't.
Hey, what about this one?
Nah, that one gets an extra day. Somebody got lucky.
Like having an extra day grace period? When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
I worked on the force for 30 years. I've seen plenty of politicians, but Mandela, he's the real deal. Mandela doesn't want to defund the police. He's very supportive of law enforcement, and I know his objective is to make every community in the state of Wisconsin better. I trust him to get the resources that we need to keep people safe and to reduce crime in the first place. As a retired cop, I want someone like Mandela. Mandela is the right guy for the job.
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Leisure Concepts has your new hot tub in stock and ready for immediate delivery. Steel and composite construction, whisper quiet perimeter insulation, ozone, UV, and salt systems on any model. Free delivery, cover lift, steps, training, and all at the lowest price. Learn to love winter fully submerged in hot, turbulent water. Get to Leisure Concepts and see almost 70 hot tubs in our packed showroom on the Beltline at the Park Street exit.
It's a lovely day to...
Cars built with safety in mind, even for those guys. Visit your Volkswagen dealer today to learn more about the spacious 2022 Atlas. Limited inventory available.
As political ads bombard you with campaign promises and claims to capture your vote, News 3 Now gives you a reality check, clarifying the candidates' messages and finding the facts to help you make informed choices. Reality Check, tonight on News 3 Now at 6. Tonight on WISC-TV, when it comes to competition, there's no second chances. Catch an all-new Survivor and Amazing Race, followed by News 3 Now at 10. You're watching News 3 Now this morning.
Exciting things happening in the 608 as local folks are raising awareness for dyslexia.
Josh Strider is sharing some really interesting statistics and how this organization is trying to bring some awareness to the fact.
Yeah, and there's a personal connection here, too, to really what is behind all of this happening this weekend here, guys. So the International Dyslexia Association is working to raise awareness right now for the language-based learning disability. We know dyslexia results in people having difficulties with specific language skills, especially when it comes to reading. Once near the top, Wisconsin's scores have seen a significant decrease compared to other states across the nation, now coming in closer to the middle of the pack. Well, that's where Priscilla Gressens comes in. She's the president of the IDA Wisconsin branch, as well as an online tutor for kids with dyslexia. She also has a personal connection to the disability. Her 13-year-old brother Nathan has dyslexia and has been dealing with it for years. Priscilla's family has made it their mission to inspire change in the 608, and all it takes is giving kids with a disability the right resources.
Nathan has thrived with this tutor. Nathan went into 3rd grade reading at a kindergarten level, went into 5th grade reading at a 6th grade level, and 7th grade at a high school level. And that was through, at the end of 5th grade is when COVID hit. So he thrived through COVID. That was a lot of parental and tutoring and involvement.
So here's where you come in this weekend. IDA of Wisconsin is hosting a dyslexia awareness party. It's happening Saturday, October 1st from 1 to 4 in the afternoon at Oakstone and Cottage Grove. There is free admission, a silent auction, and music by Jackie Marie, along with kids' activities, appetizers, and desserts. IDA of Wisconsin's goal is to create a future for all individuals who struggle with dyslexia and other related reading differences so that they may have the access to the tools and resources they need. If you'd like to help out, you can go to the story at channel3000.com.
Boy, that's quite an impactful story from her son, it sounds like, huh?
So her brother.
Her brother,
so,
excuse me.
That family connection, but it just goes to show that, you know, she had talked about how he was behind for the longest time, and now he's actually ahead for his age. So, I mean, that just, you know, it proves that if you have the right resources in front of you, even if you have dyslexia, you can be successful.
Really impressive story. I'm glad you're spotlighting this. We talked about how it's important to talk about these problems before we find a solution.
For sure, and I mean, it's cool to see, and I've got a list of them right here of, you know, famous folks that deal with dyslexia. I'm looking at this right now. We got Tom Cruise, we've got Octavia Spencer, George Washington, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Jim Carrey. I mean, the list goes on of all these people. Look how successful they are.
1 in 5.
Did you say Einstein too?
Yeah,
I mean,
Albert Einstein.
Incredible.
Jennifer Aniston. I mean, the list goes on.
Okay, so we have another 608 check-in. We don't want to let you go after this.
Yeah, so this is pretty cool. So, you know, we had talked to them yesterday, but the group of bike riders safely arrived in Madison, putting an end to their 700-mile journey. Of course, we were talking to the group making their way through Columbia County yesterday. We talked to them live right here at this time on News 3 Now this morning. Well, those riders finished across 5 bike tours, raising around $125,000. Right. That is 3 times more than last year's total. Now, this was all to raise awareness for bone marrow transplant. Each rider responsible for raising at least $2,500, but they say that's actually the easy part.
When Bob asked me if I wanted to go on this ride, I thought, boy, I don't know if I can do it, but I would like the challenge, and I did it.
That was Marcia Crone. She was diagnosed with myelofibrosis in 2016 and was one of the 10 riders who finished in Madison. Be the Match is already finalizing plans for next year's bike tours. They expect to double those earnings. Isn't that cool?
That's awesome. Awesome. Congratulations to them. Raising money for such a worthy cause. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And that was a lot of biking, too. Yesterday was their 11th day. I mean, they had rain, they had wind, they had all of the elements that you can think of. But pretty cool to see that they finished right here in the capital city.
As usual, Josh Sprider bringing some inspiration from the 608.
We love to see it.
Love to see it. Hey, and let Josh know what inspires you in the 608. Reach out to him on social media or email him for a chance to be featured.
6:45 now. Greg Barnhart, Ian, with your first warned weather. He is continuing to track what is a colder morning for us here in Wisconsin, Greg.
Yeah, another cold morning. Looks like we might have one more before we actually get into a little bit of a different pattern. But we've been kind of stuck in this with the ridge, as we call it, high pressure to the west. You can see the wind flow coming up and then coming diving southeastward. So we've been under that northwest flow at the surface and aloft for quite a bit of time. So that's allowed us to get that colder air mass in here. But that is going to change a little bit here. So obviously you see the temperatures out west have warmed up in the last 24 hours, but out east, we've actually continued to cool. So that's going to change a little bit. But overall, we're going to have high pressure today overhead, so lighter winds, clear skies. Temperatures will still struggle to get up there, but we're going to see a little bit of a change tomorrow. After a cold night tomorrow, we're going to see temperatures warm up a little bit more. You can see the wind flow starts to turn around. A few clouds passing through, but overall, we're not going to see much in the way of any issues, just that we're going to see temperatures warm up as this air mass starts to push further north. So as you look at temperatures today, we're going to get back up into about the mid to upper 50s by this afternoon. Lighter winds out of the northeast, but not quite as strong. Once again tonight, clear skies will provide a lot of opportunity to allow temperatures to dip right back down into the 40s after midnight, and then 30s as we get closer to daybreak once again. So it'll be another frost potential there, maybe freeze in certain areas. But the good news is tomorrow, Thursday, we only got winds starting to turn around to the south. So temperatures will once again get back up in the low to mid 60s, closer to average, not quite there yet. No cloud really to speak of. And then Friday, it's even better that we should be back up into the mid 60s for most areas, and then we are getting closer to average. So tonight, once again, be cautious of plants, everything outside, because we'll probably get a potential for frost again. Tomorrow, looking at a better shot to see the temperatures today, too. Pattern-wise, like I said, we're going to see some improvements in that. But the good news on the pattern is it's dry one for at least a 7-day, maybe even longer. We'll see on that. But overall, it should be a dry weekend, warming temps back up. And once again, we are getting towards the time of the year when the leaves, peak leaf season's coming here soon. So it's actually good weather for that, too.
Yeah, it is a beautiful time of year to get out and peek at the fall colors. Hey, maybe you're going to the St. Croix Scenic Riverway. They have plenty of picturesque views and outdoor adventure along the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota, of course. Now there is a new effort to connect more visitors to everything the area has to offer. Over 1 million people a year stop somewhere along the 255 miles of the St. Croix National Scenic Riverway. The Wild Rivers Conservancy now partnering up with the Park Service to create a mobile visitor center. They were just awarded a grant from the National Park Foundation to kickstart the project.
The hope is that with a ranger or a volunteer or a conservancy staff member on the truck, we can share maybe a landing that's close by that's not as busy, or we can encourage them to maybe visit a campsite maybe a little bit further north to give them just a very different experience a little bit further from the Twin Cities.
The big trucker van will become the mobile visitor center and allow the Conservancy and its volunteers to go to more than 60 landings in the park and 150 campsites. They hope to get this on the road by next summer. Leah, you were just over there, weren't you?
We camped at Interstate State Park over the Memorial Day weekend. One of the most beautiful areas I've ever seen. We are so lucky for this.
The bluffs, right?
We did a little bit of kayaking. It was amazing to take in those bluffs.
Oh.
You spent some time up here. You lived sort of in this neck of the woods.
Yes, yeah. Lived in Hudson for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And just spoiled by all the beautiful scenery up there. Go check it out. Fall colors reaching peak here before too long. So if you're going to go, don't wait too long.
Definitely glad we are highlighting that. Okay, it is 6:48 now. Coming up in the morning sprint, a Wisconsin man charged for mistreatment after driving dozens of puppies across the state border.
And if you've got a little kiddo turning 3 soon, let us know so we can show their picture on TV. We'll be right back.
This portion of News 3 Now is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Warrens, Wisconsin.
Did you know Tim Michaels said people shouldn't be openly gay in public?
But I think when you bring it out of your house and onto the public street, that's where I differ.
Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as your governor?
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see.
Shopko Optical welcomes more insurance plans than ever. Call to book an exam and verify coverage.
With special pricing and special financing, you'll love your new floor. I'm Brent Ziegler with H&R Carpets and Flooring. Our interior design staff and craftsman installers make it beautiful at H&R Carpets and Flooring in Wanakee.
Keep your home looking sharp with shelving solutions from Menards. Whether you need extra storage or want to add an accent to your living space, Dakota Shelving has the solution for you. Choose from our great collection of sizes and finishes to suit your needs. Elevate your style with our assortment of sturdy and beautiful Designer's Image shelf brackets. All Designer's Image shelf brackets and Dakota storage solutions are 11% off right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Get back to your health and fitness goals by joining Anytime Fitness for just $1 now through October 7th. Let us help you turn no I can't into yes I can. Now through October 7th, join Anytime Fitness for just $1. Hurry in today.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Looking for one of our most capable Ford SUVs? Okay, great. We've got you covered. Spacious interiors, innovative tech, good looks, and a legendary off-road experience. Check out our inventory today, or let us help you place a custom order. Getting into the perfect Ford SUV? Well, it's easier than ever. Yeah, we've got you covered. Now choose FlexBuy on a 2022 Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer and get 0% financing for 66 months.
And now please welcome Anna Montoya.
Hello there, fellow students.
Would you look at that?
It's beautiful.
Wow.
That's our boy.
So bright.
Start your morning with a sausage biscuit or sausage McMuffin and pair it with a $1 any size Coke.
What you see is important. How you see is important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Right now, get 40% off lenses with the purchase of any frames. Shopko Optical.
Did you know Tim Michaels wants to criminalize abortion, even for pregnant rape victims?
But are you willing to support exceptions for rape or incest?
That's correct.
Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as your governor?
Rinkseed, bringing tech to the field from research to results.
.651, time for the morning sprint.
Lake Mills police are looking for a man accused of robbing a Culver's. It happened around 8:30 Monday night in the drive-thru. The man pulled up in a red Jeep Wrangler, passed a note to staff demanding money, and threatened to use a gun. No one actually saw a weapon during the whole ordeal. If you know anything about the crime or might have seen it happen, you should call Lake Mills police. Their phone number is right there on your screen.
Cuban officials reporting that its electrical grid has completely gone down because of Hurricane Ian. Images here from Havana, where the worst of the storms hit. Havana's decrepit infrastructure often suffers even in storms much smaller than Ian, as buildings collapse and drainage strains. The power lost late last night.
President Biden and Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis are in talks this morning as Hurricane Ian approaches the state's Gulf Coast. They're discussing preparations for the storm. This is a big deal because DeSantis is a potential contender for president in 2024. In the past few days, President Biden has also talked with the mayors of Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Clearwater. Some breaking news we've been following from overseas this morning. South Korea says North Korea firing a ballistic missile toward its eastern waters. This is happening a day before Vice President Kamala Harris is set to visit. In a statement to the New York Times, Harris called Kim Jong-un's recent activity, quote, destabilizing, and that the U.S. will stand with its allies. South Korean officials say this is the second missile launched this week.
A Washington County man has been charged, accused of transporting close to 50 puppies across state lines. He has 3 counts of operating as a dog breeder or dealer without a license and 3 counts of mistreating animals. Investigators arrested him after a concerned person reported that Colton Bruder had multiple Facebook posts about the dogs in his truck.
Senator Ron Johnson announcing his backing from the Milwaukee Police Association this morning. The group represents the rank-and-file cops in the state's largest city. It's now officially endorsing Johnson over his challenger, Mandela Barnes. They say Senator Johnson backs them and has helped them get the tools they need to do their jobs.
For his part, Mandela Barnes has been endorsed by his own coalition of law enforcement, which includes a handful of sheriffs, including those from Rock, Greene, and Milwaukee counties.
Badger women's hockey getting ready for their home opener tomorrow night after splitting their games against Penn State. The latest poll has them ranked 4th. Sitting ahead of them right now, Ohio State, Minnesota, and Northeastern. The Badgers host Lindenwood 4-2 at LeBron Arena.
Brewers still 1.5 back from the wild card spot as they take on their last home stand of the season against the Cardinals. Last night, pretty disastrous. 6 runs given up early before they could even get on the board. Final score 6-2. Brewers have another chance to win today. Just 8 more games to make it to the postseason.
Big news from the nation's capital overnight. The Senate squeaking out a test vote to move forward with a stopgap funding bill to avoid a potential government shutdown. The deadline is Friday at midnight. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer cut a controversial energy proposal from the legislation to secure Republican votes. The 72-23 vote to move forward on the bill indicates it does have enough bipartisan support to pass.
New video here of Russian men and families crossing the border into Georgia because they want to flee Russia so they don't have to fight in Ukraine. Putin announcing a mobilization of thousands last Wednesday. It was the first public mobilization since World War II. The Georgian capital had already been inundated with about 40,000 Russians since February. The exact number of people fleeing this week is not known, but it is a substantial exodus.
Flight attendants at United and Southwest Airlines are protesting at more than 20 airports across the U.S. That includes Boston, Cleveland, and Baltimore. They're calling for better pay and increased staffing levels. A shortage of airline workers is partly to blame for hundreds of thousands of flight cancellations and delays this year. The industry is down more than 50,000 workers since the pandemic.
And we do have an alert day in the forecast for today and tomorrow, really just for the morning frost potential for Dane County westward. We'll see what goes on tonight, but once again, you're going to see that potential again. Bus stop forecast to bundle up today, at least in the morning. It's not going to be a very warm morning, but we should have plenty of sunshine as you go home. Temperatures will just be in the mid-50s. So overall, if you see, plan your day. Better with the wind, better with the sun, but temperatures really are not going to improve too much. That'll be more tomorrow. And your 10-day looks dry and looks like upper 60s by Sunday.
All right, Greg Barnhart, thank you very much. We want to give you a first warn traffic note this morning. It's breaking just in the last few minutes here. A crash on the ramp to the Beltline off of Verona Road. Police are on scene there. Expect some delays as you head to work.
And more live coverage of Hurricane Ian straight ahead on CBS Mornings.